let's talk about bamboo. So I was wondering if you could tell us briefly about the kind of benefits of growing bamboo and the benefits of building with bamboo, and then after that we can just have a open-ended Q&A session following that.
All right, let's do that. What's stopping us? All right. Bamboo is basically a grass. Let's not confuse it with a tree. Bamboo is a grass, not a tree.
Yep.
It took the government of India many years till they got embarrassed to admit that it is a grass. And it was just about, what, 7-8 years ago they admitted it, while the world knew that it was grass. There are many reasons. One is that it was termed or kept in the forest department, and forest would gain revenue out of it if they call it timber. So that's the reason. And then they got rid of it. And when it was termed as timber with the forest department, we had to pay a 2% on the cost of the bamboo. Now they have removed the 2%, they have made it into an open market product, and they have added a 5% on that. So basically, they decided to get rid of the word tree and timber, put in the word grass, and charge us for the grass. So that's basically it. Okay. So bamboo, there's about approximately 14 to 1500 varieties of bamboo.
Okay.
The thinnest bamboo being as thin as a matchstick, and the biggest one that we have is about, let's say, 9 to 10 inches diameter, which is about 30 inches, 30 to 31 inches we can get. So there, in between, there is so many others. As a builder with bamboo, I use about 3 to 4 inches diameter bamboo only. I mean, I can use 6 inches and 7, 8, 9, 10 inches bamboo, but I prefer to use the smaller one because the compression strength of the bamboo is much greater. So that's one. So we have bamboo as a grass, not as a tree. It is the difference between a tree and bamboo. Let's look at it. Tree absorbs about 30% of the CO2 from the air. Bamboo absorbs more or less double of that. So it is basically a carbon sequester. It absorbs and doesn't let it go till it is burnt. That's one. Two, it enriches the soil. Many people don't agree on this issue, but it is a nitrogen fixer. It fixes the nitrogen on totally dead soil. So it enriches it, and within about 4 to 5 years, that dead soil becomes gold. So these are some of the things. Then it also helps in erosion, stopping the erosion from happening. When there's a flood or there is a dry weather, it stops the root system stops the erosion. It is also one of those plants that we plant on the mountain sides to stop the mud avalanches that we have. When it comes, rains, heavy rain, mudslides we have, and it blocks roads and things like that. So we use that for that. Besides that, bamboo is a alternative to timber. So bamboo can be engineered in machines and things like that, and they can be made as solid as any timber that you can think of. In the process of making them timber, we also make them what we call water resistant and fire retardant and termite and burrow insect proof. Because because of the chemical that we use. The chemical to some bamboo enthusiasts is not a very good option because we use phenol.
Hmm.
And phenol is a very good uh, fire retardant. It's also a very good thing. So that's why. Excuse me. Uh, okay. Uh, all right. So then there is the other reason is because it helps in income generation.
Hmm.
Okay. Income generation. Why? Because when you, let's say I have 1 acre of land with the uh, climate change, with the soil change in the climate, and the repeated use of fertilizer, we have destroyed our land.
Hmm.
We have destroyed our paddy fields. So let's say in 1 acre of land, if I get about 20 bags uh, of paddy, and we calculate at the end of the harvest, we calculate that we have used about 18 bags worth of chemical and labor to grow that 20 bags. Now, it's sad because that's one of the reasons why there's a lot of farmers creating or farmers going on what we call suicide cases. A
Hmm.
lot of farmers, they can't meet up the demand of the market. They do not have the funds to pay back the loans that they have taken, and the only easy way out they think
Hmm.
is commit suicide.
Hmm.
So if I plant bamboo in 1 acre of land, that's about 14,400 square feet. The quick calculation will tell us that if I do 14,400, uh, sorry, oh, okay. If I
It's
make,
43,560
all
square
right,
foot,
40 square foot, all right, sorry,
560 square
43,560
foot per
square
acre.
foot. Yeah, yeah. Now, if I divided that with, let's say, 8 feet by 8 feet grid and plant one bamboo within that 8 feet by 8 feet, by 4 years or 5 years' time, I should have approximately 50 more growing there. Now, if we can just leave that ground for 4 years minimum, then what we get at the end of 4 years is much more than I would get in 4 years of cultivating paddy. Uh, I was in the bamboo market the other day in Bangalore, and I was absolutely taken aback at the cost of each bamboo. And they were not quality bamboo. They were the bamboo that I personally would not use for construction of houses. Okay, so uh, even I mean, if it is being sold at something like 300 or 400 rupees, I wouldn't. Ovi will be able to tell you that because she remembers the price. I didn't remember, and it's amazing that the amount of money that they are making out of it. Now we can do the same. Even if I sell a bamboo at 200 rupees per pole, I will still get enough money to pay back a loan for 1 acre of land. So the advantages of that. Now the other advantage is that we just don't grow bamboo. We grow other crop with it, like ginger and turmeric, because they grow in the shade, and the bamboo shade is very, very good for these kind of cash crops. So basically, this is just in a nutshell.
Okay. And could you also briefly tell us about building with bamboo? What are the benefits of building with bamboo?
All right.
And the challenges, both.
Yeah. Uh, Building with bamboo is one of the latest things that we are seeing around the country right now. Uh, Bamboo was used. If I go back into history, I'll find that bamboo was being used 3,000 years ago also. And as I said, it was it was called earlier. It was called the poor man's timber, and if I can go back to history and learn from the older generation how they uh, use bamboo, it would be a great lesson for us. Uh, we normally try to make it as quick as possible, but in reality, uh, as they say, hurry scurry, spoil the curry. Well, that's what happens. So we have to learn to use bamboo uh, by cutting it in the right time in its maturity age. Then we have to cut it in the right time of the year and in right days of the month. Then we can get what these people did 2,000, 3,000 years ago, and it lasts. There are houses which are carbon dated and verified that they are about 2,000 years old. And there are houses that are built, and I have lived in a house which is about 80 years old. And how did it happen that they lasted so long? Because of the way they cut the bamboo and looking at nature, keeping nature in your mind when you're doing it, because this is a natural material, not a factory-made material. So advantages of bamboo, building with bamboo is this, that your house will remain cool in summer and warm in winter because of the hollowness in the bamboo. We build houses with double wall. And double wall is a very good system to keep the temperature inside, outside different. I mean, temperature will always be plus minus 10 to 12 degrees. Even in the hottest place, you'll find the temperatures cooler inside than in the outside. And in warm and cold places like at 12,000 feet, I built houses where the temperature in winter is about minus 30, but it was warm and livable inside. So these are few of the advantages that we have. But the disadvantage is to find the right kind of bamboo at your location. Um, it is important that we find the right bamboo. Now, I found in your location, in your area, and as a matter of fact, wherever I went, I found a lot of yellow vulgaris growing in there. The yellow vulgaris is just a decorative bamboo, not of no use to anybody. So we have to find the right bamboo. We can grow the right bamboo in your location. Though we went to the nursery, government nursery, and talked to the person in charge of the nursery, I found that he was adamant of saying that bambusa bambus is the right type of bamboo that will grow there. I don't know. I mean, he may be an expert in his field of work. He is a government man, and he most probably knows better than me. But my experience says that I can grow bamboo most probably any place on the planet Earth, provided we take care of it. We have grown bamboo in snow line areas. Yes, there are certain species that grow over the snow line. The others will not grow because of heavy frost and snow. But bamboo will grow, just grow. Uh, in your location, I was told, yes, I realized later on that you have the northeast monsoons. You don't have monsoon as the usual monsoon in the other parts of the country. You don't have southeast monsoon. You have northeast monsoon, which is for a period about 2, 3, or 4 months max. And at that time, plantation will be the best thing to do. So the disadvantages of growing bamboo is that you have to be careful what species you grow, because the roots spread fast and your neighbor might get unwanted bamboo growing in their property.
Hmm.
So that is the disadvantage. The other disadvantage is uh, to find people who will use bamboo to build houses. We may find a lot of masons, we might find a lot of carpenters, but cutting bamboo, joining them is not everybody's cup of tea. You have seen my friend Dreamland work on your property and the way he cut it and things like that. So we have to find those kind of people. That is one disadvantage. Second disadvantage is, let's say I want to build a house in your property. So for me to get bamboo, I will have to go to a dealer in Bangalore and pay through my nose. Well, I don't blame him because his transportation costs a lot. And recently, with the cost of fuel going up, he is justified in many ways. So if you are going to buy bamboo and build with it, you might as well buy in large quantity. Be a stockist. Then your cost will come down. So these are some of the advantages and disadvantages in brief.
Hmm.
But building in bamboo is going to be fun because you can build it faster, much faster than even timber.
Hmm.
That is there.
Hmm.
I think I gave a paper to Ovia to distribute to others concerning the use of bamboo, why bamboo, also how to cure bamboo, and bamboo farming with the breakup cost, everything breakup, what is the labor cost, what the land cost, this, that. And I've shown how we can get huge profits out of it. So,
I have a question.
yes, please.
Yeah. So, what is the relation to fire and all that? Can this be used as a fire retardant?
Yes.
Or they are actually worse off for fire?
No. You see, there's nothing which is fireproof, as I had mentioned earlier once also. Fire retardant, we can make it fire, but when we treat it with borax, borax is a salt, a kind of a salt. So borax is a fire retardant material.
Okay.
So it will take approximately half an hour or so to actually burn into a blaze if it is treated with borax.
What about actually as a tree, not as a building material? If we have around our Jain farms, you have seen, right?
Yes.
The plan to put plantation around the boundary.
Yes.
First, to suppress fires coming from outside, and second, to act as a soundproof thing. I was thinking about bamboo as a possibility.
Yes.
What is your thoughts on that?
Bamboo as a sound, well, let's say, it will, when it grows thick, and the only thing that, only bamboo that I can think of in terms of growing around the periphery of your boundary is a runner bamboo. And the runner bamboo that we are using is called Bambusa tulda. And they grow next to each other. They don't grow in a clump.
Oh, I see. Okay.
So if you plant, let's say, one sapling every 1 feet, then it will, within even 2 years' time, it will cover the entire gaps. And it grows very fast. It grows to about approximately 20 feet, between 20 and 30 feet.
Sir, sorry to interrupt.
Yeah, please.
If I may ask on this, how deep should the plant be planted? It's 1 foot, okay?
One foot is more than enough. More than enough.
Thank you.
Where do we get this Bambusa tulda?
You can buy it. You see, the government nursery that we went to, they didn't have it. They said try Bangalore. There may be some nursery in Bangalore who might be able to give it to you. Otherwise, I have my own nursery. I can supply it from there. As a matter of fact, Ovia, I had sent Ovia the list of bamboo and the price for sapling.
Yeah, Ovia, we should probably collect together and get,
Yeah. Yeah, Manjula. So I'm also planning to get Tulda for my fence. So
yes.
we can just gather the numbers and we can see if there's we can place an order. The other thing I wanted to mention is the roots only go up to 4 feet deep. So I think we can plant relatively shallow as well. We don't have to plant very deep because that's all kind of the roots go. And Mr. Ghani, the other thing is that out here in summer, one of the problems we have is all the dry leaves. We do have fires that kind of start in some of the unmaintained places. Everything dries up. And so we're trying to figure out, especially right outside our properties. So we're trying to figure out if there's something that we can plant that might stop this fire from spreading. And for me, one thing that struck me about what you had mentioned when you were here is bamboo roots also have like these water sacs at the end of it. And so they tend to also moisten the soil and they collect humus around. So it also creates a wet surface at the soil layer, not letting the leaves dry. And the fire retardant qualities that you've been talking about might also suggest that putting it on our boundaries might stop the fire. Have I understood this correctly?
You're correct. Correct. Now, what happens is this. If we take a little care, this dry leaves that I saw in plenty, if we can get somebody to sweep it into the bed of uh, the uh, the bamboo planted area, it becomes humus in no time. And as you rightly mentioned, yes, the soil below a bamboo plantation is never dry, never, ever, ever dry. I took those ladies with me to the village and I showed them 6 feet away from the bamboo plant. I told them to pick up a handful of soil. And then I told another person, I said, please take up a handful of soil from underneath the plant. And they were able to see the difference. The dry soil 6 feet away from the ground, from the tree, and very moist soil underneath the tree. So the possibilities of catching fire is diminished to a large extent when we have bamboo. Okay.
The other question also I wanted to ask you is, and I think Ovia briefly mentioned this to me, which is that if we want to contain the growth of bamboo, we are worried that we don't want bamboo from our house to start growing in the neighbor's house. If we want to do that, then one way to do that would be to actually dig a 4 feet trench along and put something along because the roots don't go under 4 feet. So that kind of
right. True. Very true. Very true. In many places, people have put a brick wall, okay, or stone wall, whichever is convenient for you. And in some places, they have done a thin, just about 2-inch ferro-cemented wall, so that the roots don't go along. And in some places, like in the US, I have found a lot of people have not done it, but what they did is they leave about a foot trench after they plant the bamboo, and then they keep cutting the roots off. Just trim it off. With a big garden scissors, you can trim those roots off. Just along the sides, wherever you see a root coming out, just keep an eye on it, and then just cut the roots. That's all. As if you are cutting an hedge.
A question on you said there's a lot of moisture below the ground.
Yes.
When we are growing the plant, how much watering does it need?
Okay. We suggest that you plant it when the rains start.
Okay.
All right. And once the rain starts, the plant will start growing. You don't need to water it as such. Yes, you can have a drip irrigation kind of thing, but not heavy watering every day or not. No, you don't need it because the bamboo will also take moisture from the air to sustain itself.
What about the sunlight requirement, sir?
No, not very much. I mean, anyway, around the periphery of your property, I'm sure there's a lot of sunlight. And I mean, where I was in Sindhur's place, there's a lot of sunlight.
Yeah, yeah. But in my case, I've planted a forest around it. So there is already a lot of trees. So if
you're going to do it along the side of the forest, isn't it, or inside the forest?
So it's between trees and a wall. So I want to do that.
Nah, no problem. You shouldn't have any problem whatsoever.
Okay, okay, cool.
I don't
So you
foresee
will only
a
get
problem.
vertical sunlight, not on the side.
That's all right. That's all right. That's all right. It can grow anyway. So what you do is very, very simple. You take your kitchen waste and your bathroom waste water and channel it in there. That's all.
It's not feasible. That's not feasible right now. So I'm just asking this question so that I water it appropriately. When I first plant when I plant it, and it may not be rainy season. It could be like now, for example. And it's.
I would wait for the rainy season before I plant.
All right. So, Bangalore, I mean, this area has been getting good rains for the past 2-3 years. So the rains would last from something like May to almost November. In between, there is some dry patches, but mostly, 5-6 months, 4-5 months, we get rain. So are you saying, I'm just clarifying this, are you saying that we don't need to water after the rains are over?
Yeah. I mean, after the rains are over, by that time, the tree has grown to, 1 foot sapling has grown to how many? 4 months, 5 months, did you say?
Actually, I have one plant right now, which is about, I think, 8 or 9 feet, but it's just very, very thin. It's very thin.
What species do you know?
I don't know. Actually, Manjula got it from Lal Bagh.
Okay. Right. So, I mean, you don't need to water it. Once it starts taking root, you don't need to water it.
All right. Okay.
And in 4 to 5 months' time, 4 to 5 months' time, it should be about 10 feet high if the rains are good.
Okay. Got it. Thank you.
Yeah.
I heard my name. What happened? I just did.
He's blaming you for the bamboo he's got.
I see.
I think he said something about a bamboo party under the
thanking
bamboo.
you, damn it.
I have this yellow vulgaris. I just realized it's useless.
Oh, yellow vulgaris. Yeah, that's a decorative plant.
Other thing called Arun bambusa, Arun something. Lavanya, do you remember?
Yeah. There's so many names you can't remember.
Arundalesia.
Yeah, there are hundreds of names. I can't remember my own name. What am I going to remember the names of them?
But I think that is very similar to that bambusa bamboo because I think it's a thorny variety that we see.
Yes. Yeah.
It's going quite well in my place.
And I think that variety, I don't know if you saw it. Is that a variety that we can build with as well? Like, what is the distance between the nodes, Manjula? Do you know roughly?
Distance between nodes? I'll have to see. Lavanya, do you know?
No.
Distance between two nodes in the bambusa Arun.
No, I didn't notice.
Whatever.
But it has a lot of thorns.
Yeah, it's growing rapidly actually.
So I
A
think
lot of
I hope I'm saying this right, but I think what I understand is a bamboo that's good for building with is a bamboo that's at least about 2 inches to 3 inches wide and has not too much distance between the nodes.
diameter,
Yeah,
2 to 3 inches diameter.
dia, and not too much distance between the nodes. So about 6
8 to 10 inches.
to 10 inches is, yeah, okay.
Okay. I see.
So
And what about building? When we build with bamboo, should we be concerned about termites? Because Jain Farms is a termite heaven.
yeah, I saw it. I was so pleased to see it. I was pleased to see it for many reasons. One is it's doing a great job in turning the soil inside out. That's one. But it can also eat your bamboo without your knowing. Whole night it will eat it, and next morning you sit on it, it'll be like a popper, it will just fall down. Yes. So the system of curing the bamboo so that the what do you call, the insects don't get it. That's one is cut it during the dry season. But before that, also cut only matured bamboo. Don't cut any bamboo that has got a very smooth and very nice green color on it. Cut bamboo which has got white patches as if got a skin disease, and the skin is rough like a smooth sandpaper. That's point number one that has to be looked at. Two, cut it during the time when there is no rain, totally dry period. That's the time when the bamboo has the least amount of starch in it. Thirdly, cut it during the time when the moon is on the wane, that is between the full moon and the new moon, 5 days. We call it Amavasya. Cut it during those 5 days, because that is the time when the bamboo, the upper part of the bamboo sends all its starch to the roots and gives the root rest for 5 days. And then at that time, if we cut it, there will be no starch, and the termites and the boro insect, that the little powder bug, as we call them, will not ever come near it because there's nothing for them to eat. So that is important. So once we are able to take these 4 or 5 points into this thing, we will be home free. The other method is to cut it during these 4 points that I have mentioned and put it in a stagnant water or a lake or something like that with the leaves and the branches. So during the time it is in the water, the the leaves and the branches will try to suck as much starch it has, it can get from the bamboo pole. And when it has nothing anymore, then the leaves will fall off, you will see it, and you will find that there is no starch in the bamboo. That is another way of doing it. The third is to find um, a really stinking stagnant drain. I mean, the drain is so stinky that you have to put 2 or 3 handkerchiefs, walk past it. So you put it in there. Why? Because there are bacteria in that water that will eat the starch away. So then you get up and you scrub it with a scrubber and soap and water, plain water, and you're back. You got a brand new, clean bamboo. These are the 3 methods in which I would suggest you to do. If you can, like we treat at one time, we will treat about 200 to 300 bamboos. So we build a pit, we put plastic inside it, and then we put the chemicals that are borax and boric, and then just soak it in there for at least 15 to 20 days. We also make holes in the nodes so that the chemical goes inside the bamboo. Remember always that the bamboo skin is tougher than a rhinoceros skin. Does not allow anything to penetrate. Sindur can be a witness to that. Ovia can be a witness because they put those crazy what oil, whatever you did, and it does not seep in. Yeah, the inside which we have done, the air seeped in, but the outer parts, the smooth skin side, never seeped in. It's always there. So yeah, if you have the time, inclination, you do it. But I personally will not do it. All right. So that's one way of treating the bamboo.
Could you also, I think you had given us some numbers about the tensile and the compressive strength of bamboo in case of building vis-a-vis steel. So could you just mention those?
1 minute.
The compression strength of mild steel is about 23,000 pounds per square inch. The compression strength of very good mature Bambusa balcua, is about 28,000 pounds per square inch. This has been tested in the universal machine in engineering workshops. So we have used that. Then this is the compression. Then the tensile strength is about 18 times more than steel of bamboo. The example I had given, which I till date I'm giving to everybody, because some of the newer people may not know it, but the older people know it, as that is in the villages and earlier times, water is to be delivered to our homes with a bamboo, 4 feet long bamboo strip with two cans of water, about 40 liters of water hanging on both ends, and it would never break. I wouldn't try that with a wood piece or a steel piece because it will bend and never come back, and plus hurt your back, your shoulder. In the case of bamboo, does not hurt your shoulder, and it will last for years and years to come. So that's one way of looking at it. So we can do that. The tensile we can check. The compression we can also check.
The other concern that we were wondering whether we need to have is, once we plant bamboo, will it become invasive? As in, if we want to get rid of it, is there any way, like what we usually hear is, once you plant bamboo, you can never get rid of it, and it's just going to take over everything.
Nah. You just pull it out. Just pull it out. Pull it out by the roots. That's all. It'll take a little time because because the roots of the bamboo is very fine. It's like as fine as somebody's hair. Yeah, I can see somebody's hair. So if it is, it's fine as that person's hair, but and it kind of spreads inside. So yes, we can pull it out. We can remove the the root has two parts. One is the thin, fine, hair-like thing, the roots, but the actual is called the rhizome. It's like a bulb. So you can pull those out. That's it. Done.
So which is the variety which has the deepest roots and how much?
All of them have the same, more or less the same depth it goes.
So you're saying 4 feet?
Max 4 feet.
Okay, so if I get a JCB, I can pull out the whole thing, right?
Absolutely. 100%.
Okay.
100%. You can pull the whole thing out.
And this may have been people who are already working with bamboo know this, but I'm just asking because I'm a novice. So if I have a clump and I cut the bamboo from at the ground level, they're saying it keeps growing and growing and growing. Is that right?
Absolutely. 100%. Have you seen a banana?
Yes.
Have you seen a banana? So you cut the banana, gives you the fruit. After that, it dies.
Correct.
And then 4 or 5 banana plants will come out from their sides.
Right.
Okay. Now, in the case of bamboo, we don't cut it to the ground. You always leave approximately 2 nodes from above the ground, so that new plants can come out of that. At the same time, there will be five or six plants will come out from the sides by itself. In some places, I've seen in 4 or 5 years time, I've
The
seen
economics with of growing bamboo as a plantation.
yes.
Perfect.
No, sure. Hey, it's about 200 to 300% profit, net profit.
Well, I don't understand that, but so I'd like to see the numbers.
Anyway,
because
yeah, the numbers are with
person.
Ovia. I have sent it to her. She can give you a copy of that.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
I'll
You have
share
it
it.
with you.
One,
Yeah,
yes, yes,
please
I
do.
have it with me.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
also,
I had suggested that you take these empty plots on lease. Let's say 10 years lease. With a small amount, you're actually they're doing nothing. It's just becoming a place where the white ants are enjoying their life. So if you can plant bamboo there, let's say 10 years, you take a 10 years lease, but 5 years time, you'll make enough money to buy 2 or 3 plots.
It's tempting.
That's my job. Yes, you were saying something.
Good job.
interesting to me also
What
was
was it? I missed. What is that? If you spend
We are talking about the party time that we can have when we come to visit you again.
3-4 years, you can make 3-4 crores, is it?
I know one. I know of one fellow who had a 5 lakh rupee. He was in debt for 5 lakhs, and within the next 5 years, he made something like 1 crore.
Oh, nice.
so I
And
think
he was a absolutely novice in the area of bamboo planting.
Oh, nice.
He was totally novice. So he made it.
so what
And
I understand also is that in the fourth, once we can start harvesting in the 4th year, but then year on year we can harvest it, so we don't have to wait 4 years at a time.
no. The first 4 years you wait. After that, every year you have to cut it. Every year, every season, that the cutting season during the dry period, you have to cut it. You have to cut it because otherwise, the new ones cannot come up. They'll get too overcrowded.
So it's a 4-year cycle, you are saying?
No.
First, only initial 4-year cycle.
Just
After that,
4
it's
years
every year.
first year. Yeah. Then on the second year, after the 4th year, then you start cutting every year, the same time of the year.
No, because if I grow now, if I start now,
Yeah.
after the bamboo would be ready after 4 years, right? And
Yes, first harvest.
I would cut them all, right?
No, not all. Only the 4-year-olds. And the
All of them are
4-year-olds.
4-year-old.
Yeah.
No,
You're right,
no.
Darshini.
You see, you are actually planting one bamboo, not one. In one 8 by 8 square, you are planting one bamboo. In 4 years' time, there will be 50 bamboos, small ones. So what happens is
okay, not all of them would be mature to cut, you are saying?
no, not all of them will be mature to cut.
Okay.
So each 8 feet square will have one bamboo which is 4 years old.
Yes, but by the time that 4-year-old comes, there will be others who are 3.5 years old, 3 3/4-year-old, or things of that sort. Now, there are certain people who use certain material in bamboo. They will need 2-year-old. They are basket makers. They want 2-year-old. No, they don't want a 4-year-old.
I see.
So it will depend on who wants to buy how many bamboos at what age group. Now, to find out the age of the bamboo, you have to just look at the skin of the bamboo, as I mentioned earlier. The skin of the bamboo will be rough and it will have some patches on it, gray, black kind of patches. Okay, so that's it. And you know that this is the one I mean. Now, if it is in a clumping bamboo, like Bambusum, Balpua, Gigantus, Polymarpha, all these grow in clumps. So you have to cut or sacrifice a few on both sides of the clump to go to the inside to get the mature bamboo.
Wanted to add something to what Sindhu asked about what happens if it becomes invasive. So,
What happens? What happens
when the bamboo becomes invasive? So when we trim it or we have to remove it, the soil under it is also very rich, which can be added to other plants like fruit trees.
Absolutely, 100%, 100%, 100% you can. You can even pile up. You can pile up soil over it on the bed, and then as later on, as you want to, you can take out soil from there. But remember, all that leaf that is there, all that thick leaves and all that, just push it into the roots or on the ground where the bamboo is. It'll turn into humus in no time, and it'll become and enriching the soil also.
So the thing that I noticed is in the south here we have very few major distributors for bamboo, and they're all getting bamboo from the northeast. So I think there's also a demand. Mr. Ghani has been gracious enough to be willing to connect us with people who are willing to buy the bamboo. So if we are growing bamboo and we start harvesting it, I think there will be people who will be happy to buy, particularly if we do Balkova, Tulda, and Polymorpha. I think those are very nice to build with and things like that. So we may have willing, happy buyers because it's costing them an arm and a leg to transport from the northeast. It's coming down in trucks.
What's sir, how much, just as a quick calculation, on a like-to-like basis, how much would we buy it from in Northeast and what will be the transport?
Okay, in the Northeast, I am selling non-toxic treated chemicals, bamboo at about 22 rupees per running foot. That's my way of doing it. That is Polymorpha. Balpua comes at 28 rupees per running foot. There's the length that we can load onto a normal 20 feet truck is the 20-foot poles. It is approximately up to Sarjapur. It is coming to 2,696 kilometers from my treatment plant.
Okay.
So I am paying 1,10,000 for the truck, and I am loading in approximately 800 bamboos. So you please do the calculation.
That will be about 125 rupees or so for per bamboo transport.
Yes.
So if you are, and it's a 20-foot thing, right?
No, it's a 32-foot that I'm bringing in.
Okay, but you are selling at 20 rupees per foot,
Yeah,
right?
no. Yeah. Okay.
So it will be like 30 into 20, that's 600, and 125, that's 725 is just the cost.
Yes.
And how much would I sell it for here?
70 rupees per RFT, that's what he is selling at.
70.
70.
70.
Yes, it must be 70.
Oh, no, yeah, correct. So we got a 25 rupees RFT, but Bamboo Pekka is selling it 70 RFT for what, Balkova, right? Or
Yes,
Tulda?
Balkova. Balkova.
Yeah.
Tulda 60 that he is sending.
So he's selling for 60 rupees, is it?
RFT.
70 rupees per RFT for Balkova, 60 for Tulda.
Got it. Which variety did you buy last time from him?
Both.
Tulda and Balcoa, both.
We got
Both.
so Sunil, we see Balcoa is a little fatter, sturdier, thicker wall. Tulda is a little thinner wall, and they have their purposes when we are building, right? Like next time you're here, I can show you. So the load-bearing ones are made of Balcoa, and the thinner ones. So both have their purposes. So we bought both last time. This time we are looking to work with Polymorpha, which is a very straight, so that gives us, it's easier to build. Polymorpha and Balcoa, and then we get like the really skinny ones also, just 1 inch poles kind of a thing. We got those
Oliveri.
also. Oliveri also last time, yeah.
Just one thought while you're mentioning about, I mean, I'm looking at the economics, and yes, I mean, if 70 rupees, 60 rupees are the right prices, it'll make sense for the building material kind of bamboo. But there are whole bamboo which is that Bangalore gets from, I'm sure, Northeast, which is not the building variety. It's other varieties, right?
Lots of it. I mean, from
the
Northeast, you get as many as 8 varieties.
The economics just won't work out in importing from Northeast, because if 125 rupees is the, well, you are looking at this 1,05,000 or whatever is for 30 feet.
Yes, yes.
Because
But
a normal,
we can put it at, no, we can give you at 20 feet pieces also. See, right now I am sending it to Sindoor because she wanted it. I wanted to introduce her to it, and I really don't have the time to measure it at 20 and cut it.
Got it.
I'm making a 1.2 kilometer bamboo wall, and my time is my guys are absolutely choco-block.
Absolutely, I understand. I was only looking at the transportation cost. That a transportation cost for a 30 feet long would be much higher, because it'll be a very specialized kind of truck. Whereas
it's a container truck, and it's a 12-ton truck.
Correct.
The smaller trucks, 18 or 20 feet trucks, cannot take more than 6 tons.
Right.
And it costs you the same. If you look at it, it'll cost you the same. So, because we are looking at the economics of the whole thing, because we have to be careful, because I don't want my cost to go up.
Got it.
So it is always, I would suggest, if you take it 20 feet, 30 foot, you will not be able to handle it. One, storage is a big problem. 20 feet storing is much easier. That's one. Two, the 20 feet, up to 20 feet is what we use for structure building. And then bamboo is never the same dia from the top to the bottom. It tapers. So the tapered size is what we're going to use for other purposes, other things.
Understand.
We can split them up. We can make brooms out of it. We can make all kinds of things out of it. It all depends on the person who's going to use it and what he can create out of it. No, the nearest part and the nearest bamboo seller is in Bangalore. Ovia, did you find any sellers in Hosur?
Hosur, no, not particular bamboo construction sellers and all, but just the handcrafts I'm able to find out, which is all from Dingani Kote again, from the where we went, for the.
Oh yeah. That's all, but bambusa.
Yes.
That's all. Nothing more. Yeah. Right.
Is there some kind of incentive schemes running from any government?
Yes, of course. You plant one bamboo, they will give you 260 rupees per plant. But the catch is that you will have to buy it from them, and the bamboo that they give you, which is what we don't want. That is yellow vulgaris and bambusa bamboos. They don't seem to know anything else, or they keep saying that this soil is only good for those bamboos. But in Jain Farm, in Mr. What's his name? Vipro owner.
Infosys.
Infosys.
Raghavan.
Yeah. In
Yeah,
this
his
plot,
house, we found gigantus growing in. Okay, if gigantus
I get my leaves from there.
All right.
All the bamboo leaves I'm getting.
What do you do with that?
For mulching.
Okay. Right. I know that.
I was wondering where all these long leaves are coming from. Now I know.
It's right there in the, as you pass by. I was surprised that Dendrochlomus gigantus was growing there. So I stopped and I looked and I showed it to others. And lo and behold, it is growing. But then again, the gigantus has many species, many species on that also. There's gigantus, there's the dragon bamboo, there is Sycamines, there's many of them together. So you have to figure out which one will grow there. So if you want, I can give you a gigantus saplings also.
That's like 6 inches, is it?
9 inches.
9.
I've got speakers made out of that, 9 inches. Surround sound speakers. I'm making them for people. And that's it.
On those grow to 30 feet, these for building, and the tulsa for my fencing, for sure. I need at least 30-40 of them.
All right. Is that, how long is your fencing?
Sorry?
How long is your fence?
On the side that I want to plant it, it's about 85 feet.
All right. So 1 feet gaps. Good enough. Good enough. You should be able to. I'll give you some really. You see, what happened is this: the tulda that I have is about 2-3 years old, and they grew up to about 10 feet. But that was too long to transport. So what I did, I cut the tops off, and I've got them at about 3 feet height. So when you go to plant that, you already got a mature plant to put in. And the dia of that is about 1.5 inch already. So you can use that and it'll be quick to grow, faster.
Perfect. So we should order only when the rains are approaching. Maybe the rains would come in May. We should order in about April.
Yes, we have to get the saplings now and keep it with us and plant it in May, because there is a container coming. So it is economical for us to get it now in that container.
Okay.
I would suggest you wait till my last container comes, which will be about April.
Yeah, that will be perfect.
Yeah, that will be.
So what you have to do is I will send them in boxes. You're going to put them in plastic bags with a little manure and soil. Okay. So for preparation, what you can do now is to get some labor together and gather all the leaves from the streets, from other people's properties, and put them in plastic bags or so that it rots. Okay, and then that is a very good manure for you. And what we also did is in some places we just cut the undergrowth and left it there. We cut the undergrowth that was growing there and left it there, so it rotted in between. In the meantime, you're gone mute. I can't hear you.
I'm saying, should we dig the 8 by 8 feet now? Pit now?
No, we don't have to dig. No. We are not digging anything. We are marking an 8 feet by 8 feet.
Okay.
And that just one hole in the center we make about a foot deep.
Oh, that's all, 1 foot.
That's all. There's no digging, no labor. It's a least labor intensive agriculture.
So, no, I was just thinking that I would dig this and I would put the
Oh.
leaves in there
Oh,
itself.
yes, of course. Yes, that is a good idea. Very good idea. You can put that there and just rot it.
So for the
Yeah.
runner, Tulda runner, we don't even have to do the 8x8 marking because you're doing
No.
1 foot apart.
It's 1 feet by 1 feet.
Yeah, that I understood. I was only looking at the other building variety, the
Balcova.
what is that, PL something?
Polymorpha and Balcova. I don't know.
Polymorpha. Yeah,
Polymorpha will grow here. Balcova, I think, does.
Yeah, Balcova will, Polymorpha and Balcova are clumping type. So they will be put in the center of the 8x8.
We'll try
You can
both.
Pardon me?
We'll try both.
Yes, of course. Yeah. I've got others also. Casurantia, Tulda. I've got about 8 varieties. I've sent the list to Ovia. She can share it with you guys.
Great. See, I'm
I'm
going
please.
to grow these and make a place for the dogs, instead of making a concrete structure.
No, you don't.
Yeah.
I made some lampposts for Dimapur in Nagaland because we found that the dogs love metal lamppost, but they will never take a pee on a bamboo lamppost.
Oh, is it? Really?
Yes. Dogs, if they see your car, they'll take a pee on the pee.
Absolutely.
Because it's metal. But if it is made out of bamboo, they will never come near it also. They'll smell it and go away. They don't like the smell. So we have made a lamppost with that. So if you guys want to put light in your thing, try bamboo lamppost.
Perfect.
All right. It's cheaper.
Thank you very much.
And it's a natural material, and it also does not go through a factory processing, unlike metal.
Perfect.
And if there's anybody who wants a playground made, please let us know. We'll make the entire thing out of bamboo.
Awesome.
Seesaws, swings, commando walkways, entire playground, everything with bamboo, and not hurt the kids.
So
all right.
We are planning to invite Mr. Ghani's team again sometime maybe in June, July, because we'll be ready with our roof and we want to be doing our entire roof and structure. So we'll be calling the team again. So if anybody wants anything built by his team at that time, they do really beautiful work that, like, though we learned the structural components and we can build like simple structures with bamboo, these guys are able to kind of bend bamboo and like really shape it and give us kind of really beautiful roofs kind of a thing. So if you have, I think Ovia has some pictures also, so you can share those. So if any of you want anything like that built, I think that would be a good time to kind of catch him and his team, and we can get work done together.
First thing I'm going to do is the charcoal. Next time.
Ovia, did you get that whole thing back to the those pieces of wood bamboo that we got from the shop?
Yeah, I'm just lying in my place. I have to take it back. I've got so much. We got a couple of sacks of small pieces of bamboo at free of cost.
Waste.
And the man was so good. He was so happy that, so I was able to explain to him what we are going to do. So yes, all of you can get together and start experimenting, making more charcoal.
Charcoal, vinegar, fabric. These are all things.
You've learned, Sindhu?
So charcoal, we built the thing here. So we have a little stove that Ghani sir built for us. Vinegar, it looks like we have to figure out how to create a dome-like structure. If we do, we'll be able to. So in theory, I know we're going to experiment and see what we can get going. It's a distilling process.
Actually, I want to make a biochar. actually.
And to make
Just biochar.
That's what I want to make actually.
and then to make fabric, again, we know the process in theory. We're going to try it out. We have the fibers, so we just have to put it in soda and make fiber.
Caustic soda. Yeah. Make sure that you wear long gloves. Huh? Burn your hands otherwise. So that's it.
Look
Anything?
forward to your visit again. Before, of course.
I will be in Azim Premji University sometime in the first week of March.
Okay.
For the first starting of the first installation of the 1.2 kilometers wall.
They're not very far from Jain Farms, right?
I know. Yeah, it's a couple of hours walking.